Well, hi there. My name is Clint. I wanted to talk to you today about tapirage, which is the dyeing of feathers using the poison from poisonous frogs. You see, it appears that the ancient inhabitants of the Americas used to trade in beautiful bird feathers. They would pluck the feathers of unfortunate birds and exchange them as currency. The rarer and more beautiful the feather, the more value it held. Many people kept birds with exquisite feathers and would routinely pluck the birds whenever the feathers grew back from the last time they were plucked. Sounds like a fun life. But then they discovered something awesome. From the perspective of the feather trader, not from the perspective of the birds. Apparently, if they rubbed the toxic skin secretion from a specific type of dart frog, now known resultantly as the dying dart frog, onto the skin of a plucked bird, the feathers would regrow in different and highly valuable colors. That's pretty amazing. But do you remember what it was called? You might, but I didn't do you any favors. Because I told you what it was called without you having any idea what it was or if it was important. Immediately after I told you what it was called, I began to explain what it was and why it was cool. I guess you can decide if it's important enough to remember. But I gave you a choice. You could either take the time after I told you the name of this feather dyeing technique to focus on remembering what it was called, or you could listen to me explain what it is and why it's cool and possibly worth remembering. But I made it extremely difficult for you to do both. And this isn't the way that new terms should be introduced. Instead, if I want to give you a chance to do both, I will say the ancient inhabitants of the Americas used to trade in rare and beautiful bird feathers. They would even keep birds and routinely pluck them of their valuable feathers. Allegedly, some people found that if they rubbed some of the toxic skin secretions from poisonous frogs, now known as dying dart frogs, onto the skin of a freshly plucked bird, the feathers would regrow in new and highly valuable colors. Dyeing bird feathers with dart frog skin secretions is called tapirage. By introducing the name of the phenomenon to you after explaining what it is and why it might be worth remembering, I give you a chance to both hear the explanation and take the time to remember the word. If you watch the other videos on this channel, you'll notice that I'm very deliberate about introducing new terms to you in this way. But that isn't the way that we generally tell people our names. We usually start out, as I did with this video, by saying our name. Hi, I'm Clint. And if you're just meeting me for the first time, you have no idea if you're ever going to use my name again. Am I an interesting person? Do we have anything in common? Is this the only conversation we will ever have? You don't know. You might learn the names of a dozen people at this party. Are you going to take the time to think of a way to remember that this goofy-looking fellow in the tie is named Clint? And are you going to be able to do that while I'm in the middle of telling you what an interesting person I am, and while we try to discover what we have in common? Are you going to be there in the middle of a conversation with me about how we both think that Rogue One was awesome, but most other Star Wars movies since Return of the Jedi were lame, and simultaneously thinking about other people you know named Clint? Okay, Clint Eastwood, it's Dirty Harry. Do you feel lucky, punk? This guy's wearing a tie. Punk rockers sometimes wear ties, to be ironic. I've definitely seen Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day wear a tie. So this guy wears ties like Billy Joe Armstrong, but his name isn't Billy or Joe. But Billy Joe is a punk rocker. Do you feel lucky, punk? Dirty Harry. He's not Harry, though he does have a beard. But Dirty Harry is Clint Eastwood. This guy's name is Clint. Can you think all of that while we talk about Star Wars and not leave thinking that my name might be Luke? Probably not. So maybe, whether you say your name at the beginning of a conversation or not, do the person a favor and tell them your name again at the end when they already know what an awesome person you are. I'm Clint, by the way, and now you know. If you've learned something today, please like this video. If you'd like to learn more in the future, please subscribe and click the little bell. We hope to see you real soon.